All right, hello everyone, welcome to my class. It's my pleasure today to introduce a very important topic, and that is exponent loss. So, in this topic, we will have a couple of videos where we go step by step and explain every single detail when it comes to this point, a very huge and a very important topic. Before we start the lesson, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and make sure that you have a copybook and a pen in front of you so that you can take the notes and that you can do some practice questions with me. Also, keep in mind that in the description of the video, you can find some PDF material that are related to the lesson, where you can find extra practice questions and some questions to challenge yourself and to check your knowledge basically. So, before we start with the lesson, let us start with some concepts that are very important to begin with, right? So, if we have, for example, a number 5 to the power of 2, number 5 is what we call the base of the number. So, number 5 stands for the base, while a number that's on the top, we call it either exponent, we can call it power, or we can call it index. So, if we have, for example, number 6 and then 3 on top, we read this as 6 to the power of 3, or we can say 6 cubed. Now, since we are here, what is 5 to the power of 2? What does that basically mean? That means that we have number 5 and then we write it twice. So this is 5 to the power of 2. We write it twice because the exponent is 2. While, for example, 6 to the power of 3, that means that we multiply number 6 3 times by itself because the exponent that we have is 3. So it's 6 to the power of 3. Alright, I hope that this is clear. By the way, any questions you have or any doubts you have when it comes to this lesson, please make sure that you write a comment and I'll do my best to get back to you and to help any questions that you have. All right, what if we have, for example, 4 multiplied by 4 and then we have 4 again? How do we write this in index notation? Basically, we just write number 4 and then we write how many times do we see number 4. We see it once, twice, 3 times. So this is 4 to the power of 3. Good job. If we have, for example, 2 to the power of 5, then this basically means that we multiply number 2 5 times by itself, right? So it's going to be 2 by 2, 2, 2, and one more time 2. If we multiply all the 2's by itself, we will get number 32. What happens if we have, for example, number 5 to the power of 1? Any number that is raised to the power of 1 will always give us the number itself. So 5 to the power of 1 is equal to 5. Perfect. That means, for example, 18 to the power of 1 is still equal to 18. So any number raised to the power of 1 is equal to the number itself. Another important hint for you is, let's say 5 to the power of 0. 5 to the power of 0 is equal, let me hear the answers. No, it's not 0. 5 to the power of 0 is equal to 1. So any number raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. With one exception, 0 to the power of 0 is not equal to 1. But that's something that we'll talk about later. So 5 to the power of 0 is equal to 1. So if we say, for example, 18 to the power of 0, this is still equal to 1. All right. Good job. Now, I will just remind you that if something is to the power of 1, since it's equal to 5, that means we do not have to write any exponent at all. This is very important later on. So keep in mind that if I have a number and I do not see any exponent, on the top of the number, then we consider that there is 1, because I know that 15 to the power of 1 is equal to 15. So if we see, for example, number 3, and there is no other exponent, we consider that there is 1, because 3 to the power of 1 is equal to 3. Excellent job. Now we can start with our first arithmetic rules. So if we have, for example, 2 to the power of 3 multiplied by 2 to the power of 2. What is that? Let us figure this one out together. So if we have 2 to the power of 3, we know that this is equal to 2, 2, and one more time 2, multiplied by, then we have 2 to the power of 3, 2 to the power of 2. This is equal to 2 times 2. What does that mean? We have number 2, how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 to the power of 5. So what do we notice here, guys? If we have 2 to the power of 3 and 2 to the power of 2, then that means basically it's 2, and we just add the exponents. So 3 plus 2, which is equal to 2 to the power of 5. Excellent. So we can tell that our first formula is already, if a number is raised to the power of, let's say, number to the power of n, we multiply this by a number to the power of m, the answer will be n plus m. That's great. So let's have one more example. Let's say 5 to the power of 8. We multiply this by 5 to the power of 4, and we multiply this by 5. First of all, we notice that the power of the first number is 8. That is clear. So here, this one is 8. Now, the power of the second number is 4. That is also clear. But the power of the third number is not given. What did we say a couple of minutes ago? If there is no power given, then we consider that there is 1. Another thing that we learned today is, if it's multiplication, we copy the base and we add the exponents. So it's going to be 8 plus 4 plus 1. So our final answer is 5 to the power of 8 plus 4 is 12 plus 1, 5 to the power of 13. Excellent job. Let's try another thing. What if we have, let's say, 5 to the power of 8 divided by 5 to the power of 6? Basically, if we divide them, 5 to the power of 8 by 5 to the power of 6, let us write it as a fraction. 5 to the power of 8, we would have to write number 5 8 times, right? So it's going to be 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then we have number 5 on top. We divide this with 5 to the power of 6. So 1, 2, then we have 3, then we have 4, and then we have 5. Oh, there is one more. So we have 6. So we have 8 on top and 6 down. Okay, let us do simplification. 5 up, 5 down. 5 up, 5 down. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. All right. We get that the final answer would be 5 and one more time 5, which is basically equal to 5 to the power of 2. So what did we have? 5 to the power of 8 divided by 5 to the power of 6 will give us 5 to the power of 2. Don't we notice that the rule is, if we have division, then we subtract the exponents. So it's going to be 8 minus 6, which is equal to 2. So basically the formula will be any number to the power of m divided by the same number to the power of n, that will be equal to a number, and then we subtract the exponents. So a to the power of m minus n. Good job, guys. Another important thing that you learned previously, hopefully, is if we have a number and then we raise it to the power of n, and then we raise it to another power to the power of m. So the way I explain this to my students is, if we have double powers, we multiply them. So this will be a to the power of n multiplied by m. Let's have an example. So 5 to the power of 3 and then to the power of 4. The rule is, if we have double powers, then we multiply them. So this will be 5, 3 times 4 is equal to 12. As a summary, what we have learned today is, any number that we multiply by, let's say, 7 multiplied by 7 to the power of 6 multiplied by 7 to the power of 3, if they have the same base, we copy the base and we add the exponents. 6 plus 3 is equal to 9. Then we learn that if we have division, 7 to the power of 6 divided by 7 to the power of 3, that is equal to 7 to the power of, when it's division, we subtract the exponents. So 6 minus 3 is equal to 3. Finally, we learned that if we have double exponents, we have to multiply them. So if we have, for example, 7 to the power of 6 and then to the power of 3, that is equal to 7 to the power of 6 multiplied by 3 is equal to 18. So that would be our lesson for today. I will give you a couple of practice questions. Make sure that you give me the answers in the comments. If we say, for example, 5 to the power of 2 times 5 to the power of 3 times 5 to the power of 4, give me the answer to question A. And I will give you one more. Question B, 5 to the power of 4 and then one more time to the power of 4. Solve these two and give me the answers in comments. I will see you in the next lesson, a very important lesson. So please make sure that you like the video, give me the comments, give me the answers, and see you in the next video.